Hey, we are ReelyReviews, and welcome to another episode.
What is going on?
That was my very bad James Hetfield.
We're wearing hoodies because the guy on the front has got a hoodie on.
Yeah. This is Through the Never, which we watched a few weeks ago, I would say now.
Maybe months ago.
Maybe months ago, but we thought we'd give it a review.
Yeah, because we really like it.
We really like Metallica, so therefore we really expected to like this film, and we really did.
We really did, it was really good.
Really.
So, what should we start with?
Well,
I'll read the back.
Yeah, read the back.
This is becoming a theme.
Yes.
Reading the back of films.
I think we should do that now.
Okay. So, Metallica, Through the Never, is a groundbreaking, music-driven 3D motion picture event. The film combines a spectacular, never-before-seen live performance by Metallica, created exclusively for the film, and a suspenseful narrative to produce a bracing, raw, and visceral cinematic experience. Emerging young star Dane DeHaan, the place beyond the Pines, and Chronicle, I wouldn't recommend it, portrays Trip, a young roadie sent on an urgent mission that turns into a surreal adventure, while Metallica perform their most iconic songs during a roaring live set in front of the sold-out arena.
Now, I would say this story is mainly focusing around the concert. It's just a concert film, really, but they kind of attempt to weave a narrative into it. I'd say the narrative, you know, I would say it wouldn't look very out of place in like a short film or something like that, you know, like one of those artsy student films.
To be honest, if you're watching this film, you're watching this film
for Metallica.
For Metallica.
You're not really watching it for the narrative.
Because
really.
I've had a few people, I've lent this to a few people, and somebody said, I didn't like it. And I can understand why, is because they're not a massive Metallica fan, and in all honesty, the narrative of this film is not amazing, it's not bad.
No, it has good effects in it.
We'll
get to that later. But
if you're a huge Metallica fan, you're going to like this, I think.
We like to think of it as like it's a musical with like, it's kind of like if Metallica appeared in like an Andrew Lloyd Webber kind of theatre production.
Like Cats.
Well, you know, with roadies and you know, equipment or something instead of cats. Yeah, there is actually, on the back here, we have this fella, who, I don't know what he is, really. I'll show you.
He's on the horse.
I wanted to say he's a knight of some sort, but, you know, I think kind of the set that Metallica, whereabouts is this again?
Well, that's the thing. It says on the back here that the film combines a spectacular, never-before-seen live performance. But actually, this live performance was filmed over the course of about 3 or 4 nights.
Yes.
They just used the best footage and the best, like... The night they played the song the best is the night that they used to put in film. But this film portrays it as one concert, although it is technically about 4. I'll
tell you what, if you're going to watch this film, actually, watch it on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
It's just incredible, you know, the sound comes to life.
Oh, and you have to have like surround sound, like big booming speakers.
The surround motivates the narrative almost, because in all the situations that Tripp finds himself in the film, it has an almost complimentary kind of Metallica tune to go along with it.
Now, what song or songs would you say were your favourite and least favourite, like performance-wise?
Now, I think there was one moment where Tripp, he was being chased by a load of people, like a load of, I think SWAT people or something, just random insane crazy people.
It's like a riot. The film takes place during a riot.
Yeah, basically, but a massive riot where he sees people like hung in the streets and stuff. It's very grim, a lot of this film. But he's got his leather jacket on, and he douses himself in petrol and sets himself on fire.
And runs into all the people to fight them whilst on fire.
Now, what song was that? Was that Fuel?
That was Battery.
Battery, yes.
Battery.
I thought that worked really well with that, because, you know, I guess Battery is a very aggressive song, you know, and I guess it's about being violent, you know, that's my interpretation of the song or whatever. I'm
going to say my favourite song / songs The opening song, Creeping Death, I think it's one of the best live performances of that song is the one on this. It sounds really good. Lars plays drums brilliantly. James, his voice back on form. He looks cool as fuck as well.
No.
Battery again is amazing. Now, what songs were you not like that too bothered about?
I don't know, like...
Surprise! I was surprised by Cyanide. It's not one of my favourite Metallica songs, but it sounded really good on this.
It's not one of mine. In fact, Death Magnetic, it's a, you know, it's an okay album. You know, I just kind of thought all the songs were so long on Death Magnetic. You know what I mean?
I think Death Magnetic's one of my favourite.
Like I said, it's a good album, but a lot of, you know, I don't really like Judas Kiss that much.
I like the bow down, sell your soul to me.
Yeah,
that bit sounds good.
Okay,
but the bit where it's like, so what now? Where do I don't like that bit. It doesn't fit with the song.
But I love Unforgiven 3. I like. I'm getting. You know, Cyanide's gradually growing on me. Broken, Beaten, and Scarred. That's gradually growing on me as well. I wasn't a big massive fan of that. Generally, the songs which I wasn't too bothered about in that film. I don't know, it's a tricky one, because it was a very good set that they picked to you know, motivate the film's narrative, I would say. I remember And Justice was in there, I think. Was it?
Scratch what I said, And Justice for All was the best song of the show. And what they do for this song, and I think they do it, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
I think I've seen like footage of them in '89 at the infamous Seattle gig, where they set up Lady Justice and then crumble.
They basically erect a massive statue of Lady Justice which crumbles as the song goes on.
Yeah.
But the difference with the live kind of performances that you're usually accustomed to, if you're a Metallica fan, you go and see their show. In this one, it's sort of like they add fictional elements into it.
Yeah.
You know, like the world of Tripp's narrative collides with the real Metallica footage that's going on. So it's weird. It's kind of a pseudo fiction film / documentary, in a sense, because as I seem to recall, when Lady Justice crumbles, I think it kind of doesn't it reflect what's going on with Tripp outside the building, or like at one point in the set all the lights go off and James is like, "Is everyone okay?"
Yeah, everything starts falling over.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, is everyone okay?" It reminded me of Cunning Stunts very much when they have the stage guy walks up. Like climbs up and falls over and like it gets set on fire.
I would say this gig is better than the Cunning Stunts gig. I think James's voice on the Cunning Stunts gig wasn't very good.
Nah,
it seemed a bit like he'd done his voice in and he was really.
And we both love the sort of load reload era. You know, we think it's very overlooked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, it's very grim at points. You see bodies hanging as one, I think, plays or. Something like that. It's been a while since we've seen it, you see, so I can't remember which specific songs we, relate to which specific game. But there's one sequence where Rob Trujillo is practicing his bass before the gig, and he's surrounded by all these massive speakers.
He's in like a room that's made of speakers, and he's kind of like in the middle doing his like Monkey Man kind of.
Yeah.
What songs would you have liked to have seen them play?
Did they play Fuel? I can't remember.
Yeah, they played.
They did play Fuel, yeah. Because, I mean, when I went to Sonosphere recently, I saw Metallica, last band of the weekend, and they absolutely blew me away. It was the best gig I think I've been to so far in my life. They actually did play And Justice. It came down, it was weird, because all the songs in that set list were fan voted. You could request, before you went to Sonosphere, you could
that annoys me.
vote what song you wanted for.
Because everyone votes for
Sandman.
All the songs that they always play. I want to hear stuff like Fixer and Carpe Diem Baby. Frayed Ends of Sanity should get played more.
Well, I've got to be honest, I voted for a lot of that stuff. Unnamed Feeling, Carpe Diem Baby. What else did I do? I think I voted for Damage Inc., I think.
But I was going to say, there's songs that I wanted to be on this. I would have liked to have seen Blackened. I would have liked to have seen Damage Inc. I would like, and the song that I really like and really get into.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was a rhyme. Sorry, my mistake.
A song I'm really getting into at the moment, The Four Horsemen. I love that song.
That actually, and the vote, on the last song of the day when we were there, it came down to a vote for one more song that they were going to play, and it was between Wherever I May Roam, Four Horsemen, and Justice for All. And Justice was so closely tied with Four Horsemen, we didn't know which one was good. Poor Wherever I May Roam got left completely in the dust.
But I prefer the other two songs.
Yeah,
Four
but
Horsemen
And Justice won by about this much, and there's a massive cheer going up, and we were all just kind of standing there thinking, can Lars pull it off? But he did, which was good.
To be honest, he pulled off Frayed Ends of Sanity.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think he refused to play because he just thought it was too difficult.
Yeah, Well, a lot of that... I can imagine a lot of Injustice. It's difficult for guitar, being a guitar player. A lot of the tabs are very difficult. For most Metallica songs, in fact, Should we wrap this up quickly?
Yeah. So, do you want to hold that one? I'll hold the sleeve.
Hold the sleeve. Special features, you've got Making of Metallica Through the Never, feature-length documentary.
Haven't watched any of this.
Feature-length, so that's a whole new other film in itself, like it seems. Mill Valley Film Festival Q&A of Metallica and director Nimrod Antal.
That's a name you don't want to miss.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate name.
Rimrod, you could end up calling him.
Orion Festival Film Tent highlights with Lars Ulrich. Orion Festival was the festival that Metallica set up and founded. Theatrical trailer, Master of Puppets music video. I assume it from that concert.
Yeah, it is.
Band and crew interviews and sound collection interview.
So it's got a few things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth. To be honest, the feature-length documentary is probably the best thing.
I love this review actually. It's got Paul Mackinez, G2 Guardian, has rated 4 stars and says awesome. But that makes me laugh because usually it says like you'd get credits like, oh, the stylism in this film was brilliant, and and it's very compelling narrative. But no, this guy just goes flat out awesome.
On the front, we've got Goes Further Than Concert Movies Have Ever Gone by Enemy. Fucking Enemy. I hate the fucking Enemy.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we like fucking indie music.
I actually like the way the front cover, you might not be able to see this, his bandana that he's got wrapped round his face, in it is part of the concert.
Yeah.
Which is very...
Oh, also, the drumming on Ride the Lightning is quality. So.
Okay, well, I think we'll just quickly wrap it up by talking about the end, the very last sequence.
Yes.
It's Rob Trujillo. Tripp's just kind of gone through all this ordeal. He's fought off people when he's been set on fire. He's been chased by this knight fella. A lot of, I guess a lot of the imagery in this film was inspired by Metallica's, the themes in Metallica songs, which makes the music very complementary to the actual narrative. But I'd say watch this film for the concert really more than the narrative.
So at the end, Tripp, he gets to the concert's ended, and he sits down in one of the seats, like in the audience area, and he sits down. And
we should explain at this point that he has to transport a very important briefcase.
We won't spoil it though.
No, we will not spoil it.
Right.
We said this in the 7 review, I think. You never see what's in that briefcase.
Yeah. But there are some... I've seen some things people have been talking about online, what it could be, and some of them are really cool. But he sits down, and Metallica are still on stage, and they're sitting on stools, and James got his shades on. They do like a little kind of impromptu performance of Orion, which sounds amazing.
Yes, definitely. And, I mean, that's Through the Never. It's just basically... the main character, Tripp, has hardly any dialogue. I don't think he has any dialogue.
He doesn't.
He has one line, I think, in the whole film. So if you're watching this for compelling dialogue, then
look elsewhere.
Look elsewhere, because it's basically a concert film backed up by a fictional narrative. But it's very effective. Let's face it.
The concert's really good. I actually think this is maybe their best concert since the Seattle one. I would say.
Well,
I think the Seattle concert is fucking amazing. To be fair.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing.
So.
Yeah, we'd recommend this. We've been reviewing too many good films of late. I think we should choose a really crap one for our next one. Maybe continue on the Segalathon, because we promised we would, didn't we? And I feel like it's our duty to provide the splendid viewers with more weirdness from Segal. But that will be left to another time. But for now,
Thank God.
yeah, thank God. But for now, we have been Really Reviews.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. Nice one.